What's up, everyone? It's back again for another UFC predictions video. This time for UFC 318, Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier for the BMF belt. Super excited for this card. Don't think the main card's necessarily the best thing we've ever seen, but I will say as a whole, like prelims and like the main card as well, I'm super hyped for this card. I love me some MMA fights. I'm sure you do. We will be there. We will be watching. We will have fun, and we're gonna try to make some money as well. So we're absolutely going to get into it. But first, as always, let's go over what happened last time around. Went pretty well. I can't be too mad. So we had some letdowns, but we also had some amazing hits. So let's go through them. Fatima Klein, my absolute biggest bet of the card. I was willing to put a lot of money on her. I was like, there's no way Melissa Martinez is going to be able to do anything, even if Fatima Klein doesn't even grapple, which I will say I was admittedly like, it would be a little bit of trouble. It could be like a little scary if she doesn't. It wasn't scary at all, man. She made it look easy to me. And that head kick KO, my goodness. Fatima Klein is that girl. I think she's a legit, she got a legit chance to become a future champion. So yeah, what can I say? Fatima Klein is the goods. She's the goods. I will say that people were acting like, I think I give credit to Martinez though. People are acting like Fatima Klein wasn't trying to grapple or anything like that. She was. She absolutely was trying to like get into clinch exchanges and get takedowns off of them. Did she go ham about like committing? Like, oh, I need to commit to this. Not necessarily, but she didn't necessarily have to. Why have to do that if you're already winning the striking exchanges to begin with? But she did try it a few times, and it's like she's not going to exert way more effort for no reason, because like Martinez's whole game plan is just not get taken down. But she got outstruck because of it. Yeah. So I was gonna say that I have to give some credit to Martinez, but on the feet, man, Fatima kind of fought the fight Martinez wanted to fight, but just Fatima outworked her. That body kick, thing of beauty. I mean, obviously the head kick was very nice as well. The boxing is pretty good too. Fatima Klein's the goods. She's the goods. Next fight I had a bet on was, I didn't have a bet on that guy. It was Kennedy Nchukwu to win in round 3 or decision. I didn't put too much on this. I was very disappointed though. I cannot believe this guy Walter Walker got a win like that. Just running at Kennedy, just force a grappling exchange, get the back, and then just find a way to get like a heel hook off bottom. Leg lock. I can't with this guy Walter. I don't think he's that good still. I really don't. I will say, getting that on Kennedy is a lot more impressive than the last 2 guys he got it on. So getting this leg lock says a lot more than those last 2 with Junior Tafa and what's his name, Dontel Mace. So I mean, props to Walter. He keeps proving me wrong at this rate, even though I was right on Bresky. So shout out to Bresky. And Bresky we'll be talking about on this card, so stay tuned. Next fight I bet on, it might have been, no, it was Shidi Njokuani versus Jake Matthews. I would be lying if I told I really liked the position all week until weigh-ins, and then I saw Chidi miss weight. I was like, oh, not good. I'm like, I know he ended up making weight afterwards, but even still, like, you're missing that weight to begin with. That's just not. It's not good. It's not good to be in that position. Although I will say, in the fight, I thought Chidi was looking pretty good. Like I was like, yes, I like what I'm seeing so far. But then he gets tripped, and then Jake Matthews, beautiful back take, gets a neck of Chidi. I mean, and Chidi was trying to get him off his back, but I mean, already locked in the choke. I mean, that was just a thing of beauty. Like, well, damn, it is what it is. I was sad about it, but what can I say? I love me some Cheating Jokuwani, and I mean, I wish he had better jiu-jitsu, but I mean, props to Jake Matthews to finding that opening. I didn't think you necessarily like try and force the grappling so much, and not necessarily he did. Like, the first thing he did finally did work. So yeah, shout out to Jake Matthews for that win. Next fight I had a bet on was Chris Curtis versus Max Griffin. I had money on Chris Curtis to win by finish only, and if it went to decision, I just get my money back. I was fine with this bet. This bet felt good to me. I didn't feel any danger for Max Griffin finishing Chris Curtis, but I felt like Chris Curtis absolutely could have gotten a finish as it got late. But at the same time, it didn't feel like he had super crazy urgency. He left room for a robbery to happen. My goodness, I don't know what he was doing. And it was a split decision. Shouldn't have been a split decision. I thought Chris Curtis absolutely won that fight pretty clearly. But still, what are you doing? Don't do that. Don't make things super close like that. But props to Curtis. I thought he looked pretty good in the fight, and he looked good. He looked good in the scales at 170. So shout out to Chris Curtis. The next fight I had a bet on was, I believe it's Vitor Petrino to win by submission. What a call. What a call. This was a great bet. This was an amazing bet. I'm Petrino's biggest doubter, but damn, I knew he had a good chance to do that. To Austin Lane, who was just nothing. Like, I assumed he was gonna be like nothing off his back, and that's exactly what happened. Now Vitor Petrino's gonna try Jelton and Mato these guys, and I mean, maybe he can. I don't know. I still don't think he's that good. But yeah, I mean, what's there to say? I don't think he's that great still. Beating Austin Lane tells me nothing. But good win nonetheless. Like, he made it look pretty easy, I thought. So shout out to Vitor Petrino. The next fight I had a bet on was probably Calvin Kattar to beat Steve Garcia. I was sad in watching this. Calvin Kattar doesn't look the same. He looked ultra slow, and in comparison to Steve Garcia, who, shout out to Steve Garcia, I thought he was gonna like make this like an absolute barn burner and like just go at Kattar. Not really. Like, he fought like pretty smart fight, genuinely, like at distance, like kicking a bunch. It was working very well, honestly. So shout out to Steve Garcia. I've never really seen Steve Garcia really do that before, so that kind of does tell me a good amount, even though I don't think Steve Garcia is that great still. But I mean, I've been eating my words over and over. I have to give the guy credit. Yeah, but yeah, Kattar looked slow and just couldn't find the mark, couldn't pull the trigger. I think that's a big problem. So it sucked to see. What else is there to say? Just Calvin Kattar couldn't put the trigger. The next fight I had a bet on, the last bet I had, was just a little small bet on fight ends by KO on the Wonder Boy versus Bonfim fight. I was close 3 different times. One, Bonfim dropped Thompson. That's one time, and we hurt him. In that same round, Wonder Boy hurts Bonfim really bad with a head kick, like land big shots there too. And then going into round 3, like Wonder Boy had that like split on his on his shin, his leg. I saw Jack Shore get a fight stopped for that kind of thing. So I'll say I count it as a third thing. So it is what it is. I didn't put too much on it to begin with, so it's not like it's in the world. But hey, it was close. In terms of the decision though, I didn't think it was like the worst thing in the world to give it to Bonfim, although I get the reason to give it to Wonder Boy because of round 3. Like, Wonder Boy landed a big head kick still. Or wasn't a head kick. It definitely was. And like, that was probably like the biggest damage of the round, while Bonfim was kind of just pushing Thompson on the fence and doing little pitter-patter whatevers. But at the same time, I will say, like, Wonder Boy had that one moment. That's true, but he didn't really have too much else. And like, the problem with judges, like timing when it happens, I think matters to judges because they have goldfish memory. They genuinely do. If you do a great thing at the beginning of a round, but it's not like the craziest thing ever, and then you get like pushed against the fence for the rest of the fight, judges could just completely forget about that moment and just give it to the guy who's pushing you against the fence. But if it's reversed, where the guy's pushing on the fence the rest of the beginning of the round, then towards the end of the round you get hit by a head kick, judges will give him the round, give like Wonder Boy the round if that's the case. So it's just a judging thing, I think. So that's just how they are. I don't know. So yep, that's all for the betting wise. In terms of picks wise, I did all right. 7 of 12. It could have been worse. I had Mike Davis to beat Mitch Ramirez by submission. I thought Mike Davis looked terrible in this fight. Being dead serious, I thought he looked terrible. Yeah, he won. He looked good round 1, getting the body triangle. He looked so. I heard someone say this, like he looked so stiff, and that's exactly right. He looked super stiff. Sure, he got the win on Mitch Ramirez, getting the TKO. We heard him. It was a fun fight, of course, but this doesn't look like the Mike Davis that I was super high on. So I'm kind of out on Mike Davis from here on, if I'm being honest. At least from like maybe a betting perspective, unless he becomes a big dog. I don't know, but I'm not as crazy about Mike Davis as I used to be. Talk about this one. Oh, Eduardo Mora versus Lauren Murphy. I went with Mora to win, but I knew it could be dicey, and I did shout out the plus 3.5. I was ballsy enough to play the plus 3.5 on Murphy. If you did, props to you. That was a great bet. Yeah, seeing Mora struggle with the cardio in this fight, up a weight class at 125. It's not a good look. It's a very, very bad look. It's gonna be trouble. I think it could be trouble if she doesn't get that fixed up. Yeah, but shout out to Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy's fought like a lot of really good comp, so she showed up for her last fight. So yeah, shout out to her for retirement, and Mora, just keep getting better. She is, I mean, how old is she? I totally don't remember. 31. I mean, it's okay. She still has time to learn and get better. Next fight I do not have a bet on. Tuco Tokos versus Junior Tafa. I am so mad at myself. Like, I talked about in the video where it's like, I'm like, I really want to pick Tokos, but I can't. I'm mad at myself that I didn't pick Tokos. I outright said, do not bet on Tafa. Do not do it. I was absolutely right to do that. I should have bet him anyways, Tokos. I should have done it. I'm proud of myself that I didn't bet Tafa. Like, I'm very, very proud of myself because I learned my lesson from the Sheriff fight. Even though I don't know if I really bet that. It might have been like a last second bet on my part. Don't think I tracked it. But besides the point. Yeah, Tafa is just no grappling. Sure, he can get in shape. No grappling. He has nothing. Nothing. I mean, what's there to say? Like, it's just terrible luck. Losing to Tokos is unexcusable. What's there to say? Yeah. Shout out to Tokos getting a win in the UFC, so good for him. Killcliff MMA. I'm not sure. Like this one stings me that I didn't go on the underdog when I fully had in my mind I want to go Tokos, but it's like I got convinced otherwise, and hey, I paid the price. I'm wrong, so shout out Tokos. Morgan Charrier versus Nate Landwehr. I did shout out Charrier finish only. I did shout that out, but I didn't end up playing it because I was like, I'm too scared of Nate the Train in Tennessee. And I think I was rightfully scared of Nate the Train at Tennessee. Nate the Train's like what was scared my guy Morgan Charrier. I was like round 2 he was really picking it up on Morgan. I thought Morgan won round 1. But Morgan, coming out round 3, just goes blitzing in and then hurts Nate the Train really badly. Gets him out of there. And he went so hard that, like, he probably gassed himself out. And Nate the Train survived that somehow. Oh, it would have been trouble. It would have been trouble. And I would have been feeling pretty good not betting anything. And I still feel, I'm fine not betting anything on that. Because Nate the Train did show up. He absolutely looked pretty good in this fight. Even though he ended up, like, losing. So, shout out Morgan to get that win. I think it's a good win. And then the main event, Derek Lewis versus Taliesin Teixeira. I went with Teixeira to win by like first round KO, but hey, he got caught. His striking defense just not there. I knew that going in, so I didn't bet anything on him. Happily, yeah, Derek Lewis just caught him bad. What's there to say? Like, I will say like the stoppage, I didn't have a problem with it. I see like I get the reasoning people have with like saying it's bad because like he's trying to intelligently defend, but you can't just grab the cage like that. And I understand like that is intelligent defense, and like in your opinion, even though it's cheating, and like a point should be taken. But the problem is, it sets a bad precedent. It's a bad precedent to have. Why? Because you're stopping the action. Derek Lewis could still be punching, but like you're just it's a big foul. Like I honestly, stopping the fight for a DQ there would have been completely fair. You stop the action, and that's gonna help Teixeira. That literally is in favor of Teixeira. You're screwing Lewis if you do that. Because Teixeira's not gonna go to decision anyways, even if you take like 2 points. It's not going to decision anyways. And he's just gonna reset and get another chance to try and crack Lewis and win. It's BS. It'd be BS like that. I think it's a bad precedent. Don't do that. I think what Herzog did was fine, fair. I'm not mad at all. It is what it is. But I get the people not being happy about it, but and there's a fair criticism of being like we want consistency. So I think it's absolutely fair and should matter. So yeah. To the next card, UFC 318. Very excited for this card. We're gonna get into all these fights. Carly Judice versus Nicole Cagliari. Very excited for this fight. Might be my most hype for the card. Why? Because, man, I love me some Carly Crispy Judice. I'm going with round 3 KO. I think she's going to volume Nicole Cagliari bad here. I think she's going to volume her. This is my favorite bet of the card. This is my biggest bet of the card. I think I love Carly Judice here in this spot. I think the line even now is okay. It's starting to get like a little nasty though, but I think that's fine. I think Carly Judice KO is fine because she can get KO in rounds 1, 2, 3. I like KO 2, 3. I don't know what those numbers are at the time of the recording this video. Imagine they'll be pretty all right. Crispy Carly Judice is the truth, especially in the striking. Insane volume. We saw Nicole Cagliari in her last fight against Ernesto Carrasqueta face a big lady who throws a lot of volume. That's who Carly Judice is. Maybe not as big, but she got the reach. She got pretty good reach. Carly Judice at home here in this fight. For this fight, you know she's gonna bring it. I like seeing her training with Doug Rose Namajunas. Pretty good. I don't like Nicole Cagliari at 125 at all. I don't think she belongs to this weight class. I think she should be down a weight class. She has big muscles. Sure, maybe she has a grappling advantage, but I've liked what I've seen from Carly Judice in that area so far, and I think she's going to keep getting better. I think she knows that's the one area Cagliari needs to get in order to win. I think Crispy Judice is going to show up and put on a show for the Louisiana fans. Yeah, give me Carly Crispy Judice. This is my favorite bet of the card, if I'm being honest. I bet her early at minus 240, but I think these prices now are honestly justified. I think they're just fine. She's going to cook Nicole Cagliari. Especially if this fight gets to round 2, round 3, Cagliari, I think, is cooked. She's going to get volume. So much volume. So, maybe it's a live betting opportunity. Like, maybe Judice loses round 1. But I think in a high clip, if we go rounds 2, 3, she's going to put it on Cagliari. But I wouldn't be surprised if she just knocks her out in round 1. Judice's striking is nice. She is nice with it. So, yeah. And I want to thank her for cashing me with on Eunice Dubin. I will also say, 4-2 record. She low-key could be 6-0. My opinion, 5-1. Because I thought Ernesto Carrasqueta won that fight. But Gabriela Fernandez, I thought Crispy Judice won that fight. I will also say, in that Gabriela Fernandez fight, we saw her take some punches from one of the hardest hitters in the division. Just take them, no problem. This girl's got a chin on her. She can go. Crispy Carly Judice, I love this girl. I think she's got a bright future in the sport. Give me her here. Bruno Ferreira versus Jackson McVeigh. I'm not into McVeigh. I don't think he's that great. I think this is simple. Bruno KO round 1. I think McVeigh is a little too hittable. I think he's going against a buzzsaw here, and Bruno Ferreira is just going to land big. I think the judo absolutely can come into play. Maybe a sub is live for Bruno Ferreira. Yeah, I think I will say there was an angle I was kind of thinking about, although just watching Jackson McVeigh's tape, like I don't know if I even see it, but like Bruno Ferreira maybe like getting like a takedown and holding top position and like winning in rounds 2, 3, or maybe even a decision. I'm not even. I don't think I'm gonna play that. Like I was thinking because maybe the odds would be pretty nice on it. But why do that? Like I think Bruno Ferreira is just gonna probably nuke him. To be honest with you, do I want to play his money line? No, I don't trust Bruno Ferreira at all. I don't like the Hulk that much, but I think this is his fight to lose. Like come on, you should win this fight. Ryan Spann versus Lukas Bresky. Call me crazy. I'm going Lukas Bresky. I'm just done with Spann. I am done with Spann. Yes, can he nuke Bresky? Yes, of course he can. But if we get into those later rounds, if this could be another Walter Walker fight. Bresky just stays on him and just volume wins those rounds 2 and 3. I think it's live. I think he's very, very live. I like Bresky here. I think he can actually win this fight. And he's not bad. He's all right. Yeah, he can be a little chinny. He can be hurt. Sure. I mean, Spann can too, to be fair. I don't know how serious Spann is even taking this anymore. I get this is a big step down from Waldo, but I'm still taking the shot. Like I think Brian Spann is just I can't with this guy no more. I'm fine with being wrong with it. I'm probably not going to bet too much on this. Also, I'm not interested in getting into big bets on a heavyweight for the most part. This isn't the one I'm too interested in. So pass for me for the most part. But maybe I'll probably see myself in like a really small bet on Bresky. Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. I think Jimmy Crute should get a sub here. Do I want round 1 or 2? I'll go round 1. I mean, I don't know about the timing it happens. I just think it's probably going to be early. When like Jimmy Crute has all his cardio. I just don't trust Prachnio on the ground. Would I be surprised if Prachnio gets an upset? No, to be honest. Prachnio's pretty alright, to be honest with you. I mean, he's known for coming back up like upsets and stuff like that. Not like Jimmy Crute looked great in his last fight against Balado, who I think is just all-time bad. I think he's terrible. Just hits hard, but that's about it. I think Prachnio's better than this guy, Balado. But there is the whole in Prachnio's game is definitely the wrestling and grappling. I think Jimmy Crute's gonna expose that hole and win. So I mean, it's about all my breakdown for it. On the feet though, probably have to lean Prachnio, but he is getting older. Kind of crazy. Jimmy Crute's 29. That's just crazy to me. But yeah, I think Jimmy Crute finds submission, gets it done. Adam Fugitt versus Islam Dulatov. I love me some Islam Dulatov. Not necessarily as like, oh yeah, he's gonna be a champion or anything like that. He's a really fun fighter. I think he's going to get a KO round 1. This dude just goes for the kill. Would I be shocked if Fugitt wins by cardio? Like, Dulatov doesn't finish him and Fugitt just wins 2-3 and then wins like a decision or even finishes Dulatov? No, I think that's very possible. So I'm not even crazy about like betting Dulatov here. I would only be interested in like a round 1. Maybe round 1, round 2 kind of thing. On Dulatov, but I bet you those numbers are disgusting anyways. But I do think that happens. I do think Dulatov just KOs Adam Fugitt. Like, what's there to say? I think it's gonna happen. So yeah, give me Dulatov to get it done. It's who the UFC wanted to win. Ateba Gautier versus Robert Valentin. Swiss Yuri himself. That's what I call him. Call me crazy. I'm going Swiss Yuri. I'm gonna go submission round 1. Maybe I should go like round 2 or something like that, but. Round 2 or round 1? Or 3? I'll go round 1. I think there's a big grappling difference here. I really do, and I think it's going to be a problem for Ateba. Sure, Valentin could just get obliterated, sent to the next realm. I get it. Ateba has that kind of power. I will say I like Ateba's gym. We trained with like Lerone Murphy, like in that gym. I think it's Manchester top team. Pretty good gym. So I will say, like, that's like a really good sign for Ateba, and I do rate him in the future. But I'll tell you what, I do think he's still vulnerable to get grappled, and I think Valentin absolutely can grapple him. And not only that, Valentin is just awkward. He's just very awkward. I get that possibly can get him knocked out too, but that awkwardness can absolutely hurt anyone. Can hurt anyone, even Ateba. I think so. I think Valentin is super live to win this fight. I'm gonna pick him to win by submission. I think he can get some wrestling going, get a takedown. Like, this is a big gap in the submission game, in my opinion. I think there's a big gap here, and I think because of that gap, I have to take the shot. I have to take the shot. I'm definitely gonna be betting Valentin to win this fight, and probably some sort of like sub bet. Yeah, give me Robert Valentin. Absolutely. Francisco Prado versus Nikolai Veretetnikov. I need to look into this one more. I didn't look too much into this one. I just might, just off surface level, I'm going Francisco Prado. I've not been liking anything I've really been seeing from Veretetnikov, but at the same time, to be fair, the guys he's been losing to, Barlow split, it was close. Vanderford, I mean, it's not the best look. I'm not sure if that's that crazy, but look. But I mean, he's got absolutely out-wrestled here. It's not like Prado is going to be doing that. And then Michael Morales. I mean, no shame losing to Michael Morales. So I will say that. It's not like I'm betting Prado to begin with. Prado is young. I like that. Not necessarily the biggest welterweight either, which I will say is not like the craziest thing ever. I do think he has power, though. I do think he can catch Nikolai and maybe even hurt him. So I'm going with Prado. I think he can catch him and just go into a brawl and fight Veretetnikov. I mean, maybe Veretetnikov puts in the wrestling, and I mean, it's possible. So I might need to look into this one more, and if I do, and I do change my mind on Veretetnikov, I'm going to say so in the comments. But am I looking to really bet this? No. I like the ATT aspect for Francisco Prado. Can trust the American top team. They're on a roll this year. I mean, another American top team guy just beat Veretetnikov in Vanderford, so maybe Vanderford just gives that info to Prado. I don't know. But yeah, give me Prado the win. But I think Veretetnikov can tough it out. Although I probably should be going with KO. But I'll go decision. This might seem really dumb if I don't go out with KO. But yeah, decision. Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen. I'm going Brendan Allen to win this fight. I like him a lot here, if I'm being honest with you. I think Marvin Vettori is done. I hate to say it, but I think he's done. How he looked in his last fight against Roman Dolidze. What is there to say? There's no excuse getting outworked by Roman Dolidze. I will say he dropped Dolidze, which is hilarious. I don't know what to say about that. But getting outworked by Dolidze is just a no-no. That's Vettori's thing. He's supposed to out-volume you. But I'm not with it anymore. I do like his ATT now, but I don't think it's going to change anything. I hate the circumstances coming into this fight, where it's like, I think it was like his brother passed away, and now he's taking this fight. It reminds me of like Anthony Smith going against Dominic Reyes, where Smith just took a beating. It gives me vibes like that. It doesn't necessarily mean Vettori will take it like that. Maybe he reacts better, and it's a positive. I don't know. But it just reminds me of that, and I'm choosing not to think it's like a really good thing. Brendan Allen, he's home. Louisiana guy. I imagine the UFC want him to win here. I think he can out-grapple Vettori. I think he can absolutely outstrike Vettori. I think he's got the better striking. And I'm tempted to bet like Brendan Allen finish only, because I think he might actually have the ability to finish Vettori. I mean, don't forget, these two have fought before. They fought at the casino. Brendan Allen dropped Vettori at the casino. So, hey, there's that. I think Brendan Allen's gonna put on a show at home, and I think I'm gonna be on that finish only bet. Although I need to see what those odds are, so I'm going to look right now. So I'm super curious what those odds are, because they might be good. Because Vettori is known for being like unfinishable. Minus 140. I'm there. I'm going to be on that Brendan Allen finish only prop. I think he can absolutely get like some sort of submission. Absolutely. And even probably not TKO, but like submission. Brendan Allen's crafty enough. He's good enough on the ground to do it. I like that a lot. So, yeah. Give me Brendan Allen finish only. Like, I'm probably going to bet that. I might bet that pretty nicely. So, yeah. Let's go Brendan Allen. Get a win in Louisiana. Kyler Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira. Also, shout out to Brendan Allen in his last fight for that plus 3.5. I cashed it on him. That was amazing. I was so scared he was gonna get 10-8'd, but he didn't. He did good defending himself, and he also honestly he threw that fight away against Fluffy. He should have won this fight, to be honest with you, but he threw it away. Brendan Allen is tough to trust because of that, but I mean, I think Vettori's done. So I'll say that, and that's kind of why I like the finish only, because I'm not gonna lose if he does something stupid. Just don't die. And I don't think he's gonna die against Vettori. So yeah, Kyler Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira. I love this fight. Give me Kyler Phillips. And you know what? I'm gonna go crazy. Give me Kyler Phillips KO round 1. Before I go even like that crazy, I want to see. Let me look this up on another screen. Does Kyler Phillips get KOs? Like, I watched tape, but I didn't necessarily like watch like specifically like his Tapology page, like for his old. Because I know he's been going decision like against Font, Munoz, Barcelos, and that's his time back after the Roy suspension. KO Cameron else from elbows, head kick. Because I'll explain to you why I'm going round 1 KO, and I'm just gonna stick with it. I'll just go with it. Vinicius Oliveira says this is disregard to his life. And I mean, it goes both ways because he goes ham on the other guy. But I think Kyler Phillips can finally hit that spinning wheel kick he throws all the time. I think he can finally hit that on Vinicius Oliveira. I think he can put him out cold with it. Probably a crazy take, but I think it's very possible. I think Kyler Phillips is super live to win this fight. Kyler Phillips, I think, is getting massive recency bias. Sure, Vinicius Oliveira is really good. I gotta give him credit. I do think this guy's good. But again, this guy's hittable. Kyler Phillips it's a part of a really good gym in the MMA lab. Like, I like that gym. That gym has been on a roll this year. And I think Kyler Phillips can get a bounce back. Kyler Phillips is really good. He is really good. I think this is a massive recency bias moment from losing to Rob Font, who has been winning. He's been doing pretty good lately. Rob Font's just beat Matsumoto, a really good prospect who's got it all. So I don't think that's like a bad thing to lose to Rob Font necessarily. Kyler Phillips is good, and I do rate Vinicius Oliveira, and I get the angle most people are going at with this fight where Kyler Phillips is going to gas something like that, but because he's shown it. He showed it in his last fight against Rob Font. He looked terrible. I was on Kyler Phillips there, and I was so disappointed, but because I thought that all that was solved when doing the Pedro Munoz fight. But I think the difference here is that Kyler Phillips is doing a little too much wrestling on Rob Font. I don't think he's going to be doing anywhere near as much wrestling in this fight. I think this might be like a stand-up fight, and I think Kyler Phillips might have better cardio in that sense. Not necessarily like he's going to get better in round 3 or anything. No, not at all. But I do think he's not going to fall off as bad as he did against Rob Font. But that's if we even get to that point. I do think Vinicius Oliveira is there to be hit. I think he's there to get knocked out. I don't buy this aura stuff like that. I mean, I never did for like almost any fighter. I mean, like for Diego Lopez, I've been picking against him like literally every fight. So I don't believe in no aura kind of thing. Yeah, give me Kyler Phillips. I think he's a super live underdog to win this fight. People are forgetting how good this guy is. I think he's really good. Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. I bet Daniel Zellhuber at chalk, and I think he's going to knock out Michael Johnson. Like, I'll go round 2 actually. He can kind of take a little bit to get going. This is a murder. I don't know why we're making this fight. This is pretty messed up. Why do we want to murder Michael Johnson? Yeah, I think Zellhuber just has him covered. Like I think he's just on the feet. It's just such a big difference in, I think, striking, and like I think the youth is such a big difference as well. Like Michael Johnson's so old at this point. I just foresee Zellhuber teeing up on him and landing some sort of head kick and putting down Johnson and getting him out of there. So that's ultimately what I think. I think Zellhuber will get the dub the job done and win. Next I have the card, Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. I like Dan Ige here. I think he wins a decision, but I think this could be low key close. I'm not interested in betting Dan Ige here. I think it's dog or pass with Pitbull, but I don't really want to have anything to do with Pitbull. If I were to look at anything to bet, it'd probably be like an over, but like those numbers are pretty nasty. Finish only Dan Ige, you can trust that. I will say DraftKings has like those bets where it's like submission only Pitbull. I know Dan Ige is hard to finish, but I think that's a look. That's an interesting look because maybe if anyone in that guillotine with Patricio Pitbull, he's nasty with it. So I will say that's probably live, and that's probably not a bad bet. And if Pitbull doesn't get subbed, you get your money back. I don't think it's a bad bet at all. And because of Ige being like a pretty nice favorite at this point, that could be like a playable number. So yeah. But I do think Dan Ige wins. I think the youth advantage is going to be kind of huge here. I think it hits a little too hard for Pitbull at this point, who's been getting dropped in fights like too often now. I think the age is showing on Pitbull, sadly. Yeah, I think Dan Ige still pretty good. He's a pretty good fighter still. So, but would I be shocked to an upset? No, I wouldn't be. So, yeah, give me Dan Ige though. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. Give me Kevin Holland. How do I think he wins? KO or submission or decision? I'm going with KO or submission. I'm gonna go KO, but I'm not confident that it could be submission as well. I saw the ITD line was pretty nice, and I saw like the finish only was like minus 400. It's like, that's a steal. Kevin Holland's not getting finished unless some dumb stuff happens. And the minus 3.5, I think that's playable too. I think those are good looks, especially early. So get on those. I think Kevin Holland's gonna win this fight. I don't really know where. I think D-Rod's over the hill. Sadly, I love D-Rod, but I think it's over the hill. Like beating the ghost of Ponzi's past. I outright said I'm not picking. I'm not sure if I can ever pick Ponzi again. I think he's done. He looked done. Morono fight was pretty close, but I thought D-Rod did win that fight. But it's Morono. Kevin Holland, different beasts, I feel like. At this point, I think Kevin Holland's just good. It feels like a layup, if I'm being honest. Yeah, give me Kevin Holland. I think he wins this fight pretty easily. Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. Banger fight. I'm going Roman Kopylov. How? I'll go decision. I think Kopylov is such a good striker. He's such a good striker. I get the side of Paulo Costa. Like, maybe he can have grappling success. Maybe he has the cardio advantage. I get it. I think Kopylov's too much. I think he's too good at this point. I know Costa lost to Sean Strickland. Like, that's not a bad loss. Robert Whittaker, not a bad loss. Vittori, not a bad loss. Israel Adesanya, not a bad loss. None of those are bad losses. Although I will say I'm not crazy about the layoff. He just keeps having layoffs over and over and over. I think Roman Kopylov is a real striker. He's a really, really good striker. And I think he's going to give a lot of fits to a lot of dudes in the division. And I think Paulo Costa's included in that. I think the arsenal he brings to the octagon with his kicks, I think he's going to eat up Paulo Costa. I think he's going to eat up Paulo Costa like with the body kick, leg kick, and you find a head kick even. Like, I do worry about the cardio. I do. So I'm not crazy about the line. Although, is it coming in? If it starts coming in more, I might be interested in Kopylov, like getting involved. But at the current line, I'm okay. I do think Kopylov wins though. I do think he's gonna just put out more volume, be able to use cardio well, be able to stay on the feet, just win like that. Oh yeah, and Paulo Costa's power is pretty overrated, so there's that too. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 3, the main event for the BMF belt. I'm so excited for this fight. This is going to be a banger. We already know it. I think Max is going to win this fight. I think it's going to go decision. I love Max Holloway here. Maybe not love, but I like him a lot here. I know I'm going against the hometown guy. This is like the first time I did that this whole card. Max Holloway's nice, man. He's nice. I like that he's going up to 155. The difference between this fight and the last fight between Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway has full notice, 155. He knows he's a 155er now. He's going to bulk up. I think that's going to make such a big difference here. I think it's going to make such a big difference here. Max is going to hit harder. Still, I still think he has a chin. I think it's always a question if he has a chin or not at this point where it's like he just got chinned by Topuria. Although I don't think Topuria necessarily put him out. He hurt him. He hurt him bad, and it's like Max is like, damn, that sucked. But he wasn't put out like Volkanovski or Oliveira was put out. Like it's not the same. And Max is doing pretty all right against Topuria, in my opinion. I thought he was doing pretty good. Dustin, on the other hand, looked pretty good against Islam. I get it. Although Islam had like staff going into that fight, like he didn't necessarily look like himself. I guess you would say. Although maybe I shouldn't say that. It was a great performance by Dustin to like compete. Like I know people's like, oh, it wasn't a close fight. I disagree. It was close. It can be 3-1 on the scorecards for Islam, and it can still be close because like those rounds are close. Like one judge had a 2-2. Like it's not like Islam's getting those rounds easy. And the Benoit Saint-Denis also had staff, coincidentally. That's pretty funny. Last BMF title fight, he lost against Justin Gaethje, so interesting. But I'm not. I think Max Holloway's got this in the bag. I think that difference between the weights of that last fight and this one is going to make such a big difference. Max Holloway is one of the best ever to ever do it. I think Max is going to find the volume. I think maybe he might struggle early. I do get it. And maybe that's a better life opportunity for Max Holloway. So I will say that. But Dustin's getting so many injuries now. Like in the Islam fight alone, he got like a bunch of injuries inside that fight. Why can't that happen here? I think his body's breaking down. I think the older age does matter here in this case. Dustin knows he's done, but I mean, I'm not acting like Dustin's gonna like, oh, he's retiring, so I have the faith to retire. No, like Dustin's someone you can trust, who's always gonna come in there and go to goddamn war. It don't matter. Max is gonna do that too. So Max knows he's gonna have to go to the depths of hell to win this fight. I think he's gonna be able to do that. I think he's gonna find a way to put on that volume on Dustin Poirier. Yeah, give me Max. I think the weight difference is going to be a huge difference here. I think Max Holloway at 155 is going to do some good things. So, yeah. And I hope Max wins because I would like to see Max versus Charles next. I think that'll be a sick fight. I think Max would win that one too. So, yep. Sick fight. Very excited for that one. It's going to be a banger. So, after doing that, now, of course, as always, we go over the significant strikes and the more takedowns bets that I like on these fights. Carly Giudice, Nicole Cagliari, yeah. Carly Giudice 6 strikes all day. This girl through 300 strikes in her fight against Fernandez. Now that's ridiculous. She's a volume queen. God bless her. Carly Giudice all day. More takedowns, probably Cagliari, because she's gonna be the only one really going for any. But I mean, Carly Giudice might go for some too, but it's probably Cagliari. Bruno Ferreira, Jackson McVeigh. Bruno Ferreira, more takedowns all day, in my opinion. I think Jackson McVeigh would get judo throwed if there is any sort of takedown. More 6 strikes, probably Bruno, but I wouldn't want to touch that one because maybe Jackson just lands like 2 jabs and then gets spinning elbow and knocked out, and you lose your 6 strike bet. No thanks. Ryan Spann, Bresky more 6 strikes. If this fight extends, I think that's pretty safe, to be honest with you. But that's a big if though. More takedowns, probably Spann, because I think he can get the takedown early. I think that's probably pretty safe too, to be honest. Jimmy Crute, Prochino, probably more takedowns. Crute, definitely more 6 strikes. I can see it go either way, but I guess I'll go Crute. I think he'd land some ground and pounded. Get that significant strikes numbers up. But I'm not crazy about that. Islam Duolotov, Adam Fugit. Probably Duolotov 6 strikes. Takedowns, I don't know. I guess Fugit, but I'm not so crazy about that. Just 6 strikes, Duolotov. Tevin Gautier, Robert Valentin. More takedowns, absolutely. More 6 strikes. I think it can go either way. I think Valentine's probably the good side to be on for that because he could land a bunch, like not a bunch, but like he land a few and then just get nuked. So that's always a possibility. You can win your 6 rank bet and it'd be plus money. So I think there's that. Prado Varatnikov. I'm not super I guess Varatnikov more takedowns, but more 6 strikes. I guess I lean Prado, but I'm not super duper confident either of those. Vittori, Allen. I think Allen. I mean, maybe Vittori gets back his 6 strike ways and just lands a bunch more. But I would go Allen more significant strikes, but I'm not super crazy about that. More takedowns. I'm willing to go with Allen. Although the problem is with Allen, it's like he might just pull guard or something like that. But I'd still go Allen. But I'm not crazy about those, and I bet you they might not be the great prices. Kyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira. It depends how long the fight goes. I mean, if it goes how I think it will, Kyler Phillips all day, 6 strikes. But if it does extend, I mean, Vinicius Oliveira is going to be doing the work on round 3. So I will say that. So I think that one's kind of murky. More takedowns. I think it's kind of murky too. So I'm not crazy about either of those for this fight. Zellhuber, Johnson. I think Zellhuber more 6 strikes. He's going to out significant strike Michael Johnson. Too much length as well because he's such a long guy for the division at 155. Pause. And more takedowns, I guess Michael Johnson, because Zellhuber's not going to go for any. I don't think either is going to go for any. But maybe Johnson, so yeah. Danny Ige, Pitbull. More 6 strikes, I'd lean Ige, but I don't know. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, because Ige can be low volume. I don't think the dog shot on both of those are that bad. Although, like, actually, maybe Ige more takedowns, because like I can see a world where Pitbull just was a guillotine and that counts as a takedown. So I guess Ige more takedowns, Pitbull more 6 strikes is like an alright look. Because I imagine 6 strikes or Pitbull is going to be plus money. So I think there's that. Kevin Holland, more 6 strikes for sure. More takedowns, I guess so, because D-Rod's not going to go for probably any on Kevin Holland. So yeah. But I don't bet takedowns. 6 strikes is probably safe, but it's probably a nasty number 2. Paulo Costa, Roman Coppola. I mean, at the same time, maybe 6 strikes D-Rod, because again, Kevin Holland could just nuke him, but then D-Rod just throws like 3. Although at the same time, he's probably out of the way, so I'm not crazy about that either. Kopylov, more 6 strikes. I feel good about that. And Paulo Costa, more takedowns. Feel pretty good about that too. I think both of those can be true. I think Kopylov is just a better striker. I trust his striking. Costa, trust his wrestling. And I trust wrestling over Kopylov getting wrestling. Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier. I guess Max Holloway 6 strikes. I mean, it's kind of what he does. Takedowns. It's interesting. I guess more takedowns Max, because I can see Dustin Poirier pull a guillotine. If he pulls a guillotine, it's a takedown for Max Holloway perhaps. So I guess that's how I would go with it. So yeah, that's about it. Those are my breakdown for UFC 318, Holloway versus Poirier. Super excited for the card. Again, it's going to be a great one. Thank you all for watching. You can check me out at betmma.tips, champ bets, and yeah, we're going to hopefully we cash some tickets this weekend and go crazy. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do a lot of stuff. Thank you so much. Have a great one.